What's the dumbest way you've gotten a scar? My cousin scratched my face because I was very ill and everyone was taking care of me, so she got jealous and nobody noticed for a long time because they were focused on getting my temperature back to normal. I was headbanging my hair dry in the bathroom. I hit the counter. I was 8. I was trying to squeeze between 2 cars. One of the cars must have had a jagged bumper because it sliced a 2-inch gash in my leg. I got hit on the bridge of my nose by a ceramic toilet seat when I was learning to pee like a big boy. Now I think about it, that's probably the best outcome there. I used a pressure washer on my foot. I mean, hey, we all get curious. I want to see what those bones look like. Boys from my class were throwing CDs like you throw frisbee. One of those hit me right between the eyes. Still got a small scar there. Hello and welcome everybody back to Ask EmKay. Let's jump in. Non-Americans. Does your culture have old-fashioned dog names like we do in America, such as Fido, Rex, Spot, Rover, etc.? And what are some? Musty or Blackie. Finland. It's considered a classic, but I've never actually met a dog with that name. In Singapore, male dog, boy boy. Female dog, girl girl. We're not a creative people. Swedish kindergarten kid to other Swedish kindergarten kid. Are you a boy or a girl? I don't know. What is your name? Mans? Oh, then you're a cat. I definitely didn't say that right, but let's move on. Thai. Top of my head, dung, spots, tube for floppy-eared, owen, fat, fufu, fluffy, tung, bag of silver, tung tong, bag of gold, and a lot of times we just call them by their colors like dumb for black, dang red for orange brown, or I can't read that, for white. Snotty, saumur, vuti, Iceland. I said those wrong. Who cares? Ferulais in Mexico. Bobby in Portugal. I said all of those wrong. I hate this question. I don't like this question. You're being interrogated and so far you've held strong. What song do they play on repeat that breaks you? The part of the Gangnam Style song, but in repeat and without the Gangnam Style. Mr. Sandman, except the audio is looped so it never says Mr. Sandman. The Cars for Kids radio jingle. What a nightmare. That seems very specific. Kids Bop, Old Town Road. God, how is Kids Bop still a thing? ASMR eating and mouth noises. Mouth sounds so effing gross on a condensed mic. Yeah, do you guys like to hear that? Which actor crushed a role so hard that nobody else will ever be able to live up to it? Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Andy Serkis as Golem, Alan Rickman as Severus Snape, Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins, Gary Oldman as Dracula. Well, I think they covered all the bases, really. John C. McGinley as Dr. Cox, Christian Bale in American Psycho, Jessica Walter in Arrested Development, and Archer. Her mean mom character dynamic is gold. Oh, what a legend. Rest in peace. And if you just found out that she's dead because of me, I'm sorry. Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride. Leslie Nielsen as Frank Drebin. I don't know a lot of these, so I'm sorry if I'm not saying anything. Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. Why, Johnny Depp kinda was coming for his bag there, but Gene Wilder definitely pulled it off better. Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice. I'm gonna disagree on that one, but he still did it really well. What was the best moment you've seen where the real world hit a spoiled rich kid? Knew a rich kid whose parents bought a car for, and he treated it like absolute garbage, purposely driving it really hard and generally abusing it, confident in the notion that his parents would buy him the one he wanted after he destroyed the one they got him. Well, they didn't buy him another one. Ever. He rode the city bus and bummed rides off of friends after that. He was the most entitled effer I'd ever met. If he was over at your house, he would just help himself to whatever was in the fridge like it was some sort of paid buffet. Local business owner put son through college and more. When kid graduates with multiple degrees, dad decides to retire and turn over business to son. Son brings college cronies on board, has management all wear white cowboy hats and drive white pickups, begins revamping business. Dad comes out of retirement pronto, gets rid of son and cronies. Years later, bankrolls son's run for state rep. The son lost. Dad dies and leaves business to daughter. Good lord, that was a mouthful. Here's a switch. Highly successful local doctor/politician expects son to attend medical school and become doctor. Son opts out, gets job with new company called Costco, pumping gas. He's been with the company ever since. Just his regular pay raises and bonus checks give him a good life. He just didn't want the high-stress life his dad had. And that's fair. That's fully valid. If you don't want to do what your parents do, try and express it. I don't know. Oh, I have one. I used to work at Starbucks and there was a girl that was just newly hired and in training. Mind you, she was 20 years old and her parents made her get a job. She grew up in a very wealthy family. On her first or second day, I had instructed her to do the dishes to help catch us up for closing. She looked at me with these lost eyes and told me she doesn't know how. Apparently she grew up with housemaids and literally has never cleaned a dish in her entire life. I had to teach her step by step how to clean a dish. It's really simple, people. Come on, you put the water on the stuff and then you wipe it off. That one Instagram model who got caught on video talking to a security guard at VidCon. Not only did the guard stand his ground and not let him in because he wasn't famous enough to be given a pass and too rich to just buy one, but once the internet saw the video, the guard ended up with more followers than the kid. 0.1% doesn't seem much. However, what would horribly, catastrophically go wrong if it was off by 0.1%? The strong nuclear force, the force that holds the nuclei of atoms together, if the value changed even slightly, just about everything in the universe would cease to exist as we know it. We'd all become giant gas clouds. If 0.1% of all airline flights crashed, there would be around 87 crashes every day. Ugh, that's a scary one to think about. Hot water knob and shower. Yes, absolutely. Yes. If you don't understand, you will. Genetic engineering. You with 0.1% of genes and your baby has banana eyes. Don't know how they became bananas, but it's unfortunate. Anything NASA does. Yeah, if the rocket is launching and it's off, like the fuel something is off by 0.1%, it's probably a bad time. It's a bad situation. Hand sanitizer. Oh, well, that would be a good thing. Come on. I want 100% of the germs to be gone. Trying to follow your mom's instructions. If you're off by 0.1% of what your mother told you, you're dead. It's over. Fathers of Reddit. In honor of Father's Day, what was your don't tell your mother about this moment? While building the outdoor playset for my 5-year-old, I drilled a screw completely through a board and into my shoe, barely stopping just as the screw broke skin. I swore right in front of him something along the lines of, motherfucker. We are sworn to secrecy to this day. My son randomly walked to the kitchen, 3 a.m., was finishing up some Call of Duty, and he saw me eating ice cream. So I got him a bowl and we were whispering like nerds. He was 4, and I said, don't tell mom. He said, don't tell mom. Didn't do the dishes following morning and my wife asked who had ice cream. Son of a pointed right at me. You see, you can't trust kids sometimes. They're just little tattletales. My dad, brother, and I went out to these dunes near where I live with bottle rockets. We each had an empty milk jug and each took like 20 bottle rockets for ammo. Then, we ran around launching bottle rockets at each other. I was the youngest, which made me the hardest to hit, so I won the rocket war. But yeah, mom never found out. Not a father, but a story about mine. One day I decided to pull a sick day at school and came downstairs and saw that my dad was making a coffee. I asked him what he was doing and why he wasn't at work, and he said I could ask you the same question. We stood in silence for a moment, and he said, I won't tell your mom if you won't. We had a good laugh about it, and he let me have the day off. Now that is a cool dad. I took both kids out at around 13 to show them how to drive, just in big empty parking lots or in the neighborhood, but they loved it, and I enjoyed a little secret with them for a while. All of the cereal box characters, Toucan Sam, Tony the Tiger, Lucky, etc., enter a coliseum. Only one exits alive. Reddit. Who is the ultimate serial killer? My bets are on Tony the Tiger. Gary Grapenut. The cereal broke everyone's teeth. Oh my god, is that a real thing? Powdered Toast Man. While he isn't really real, he's definitely a good competitor. Isn't the Raisin Bran mascot an actual son? Pretty sure he'd burn them all and finish with 2 scoops of ashes. Captain Crunch has naval warfare at his disposal. Don't know how would that be used in an arena though. Probably Lucky because he's magic? Yeah, but he's so easy to catch. I mean, we all have had Lucky's charms. Quaker Oats guy. He's got God on his side. Autopsy doctors of Reddit. What was the biggest revelation you had to a person's death after you carried out the procedure. Worked at an animal hospital. They did necropsies for zoos all the time. An alligator died, and they shipped it to the hospital, refrigerated, etc. to stop the decay. They took it out and put it up on the table. After doing all the paperwork, they started opening up the alligator. After the first cut, the alligator opened its eyes. Turns out, it wasn't dead. The zoo vet mistook an illness for death, and the low temperature put it basically into a coma. I worked at a coroner's office for a while, and once we had a guy who we thought had died from an OD on meth. Well, we started the autopsy, and I went to cut his lungs out, and blueberry muffin mix started coming out of them. I stuck my finger in his mouth, and it was full of blueberry muffin mix, and it was in his throat. Turns out, he got just high enough to pass out while eating the muffin mix, and he ended up choking to death. Oh, that's a rough one. To be done in by the munchies? I did the autopsy of both the robber and his victim. The robber shot the victim in the back when he tried to escape in a motorcycle, and the robber was shot by the police in the exact same situation. What's interesting is that they both died by exactly the same lesion. Both of them had their fourth lumbar vertebrae shattered and their aorta, main artery of the body, sectioned at the same level. I thought it was like an extreme example of instant karma. As a student in the medical field, I had the opportunity to visit a cadaver lab. I was very surprised to see how many people had died from choking. Out of the 12 or so cadavers in the lab that day, at least 7 or 8 were from choking. I went home and immediately looked up how to perform self-Heimlich. My friend once cremated a lady, and when they pulled the table out, there were 3 sets of forceps sitting there. Most likely she died in surgery, but I always thought it was crazy those were in, and whatever metal they're made of clearly has a higher melting point than cremation temps. What type of tattoo makes you cringe the most? Any tattoos of genitals or anus make me cringe. That's a fair one. Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes peeing on stuff, except the one from Hot Rod with one stream of urine going on the TV set and one going on the FM radio with an AM radio safely drying in the middle on a magic carpet. A defendant in the courtroom I clerked in during law school had homicide tattooed on his face over his eyebrow. Not a great look. Memes. The thought that a lot of people have dead memes from 2017 in their arms or legs is kinda funny. Couple tattoos like portraits or names. Mostly when they proudly tell you it's because they've been together for 5 months and just know they stay together forever. And then the next day, they break up and they have to pay money to get it removed. Knew a guy once who had dubstep tattooed on his chest in very, very large letters. He also insisted that dubstep was the future of music and was here to stay. He's not technically wrong, but it's just not the same anymore. I have a tramp stamp that says "No regrets" in very fancy cursive. It's the only tattoo my dad laughed at rather than cringed. I can judge no one. What are some green flags early on in dating that the relationship should become serious? Ooh, wait, I need to take some notes on this one. Early in our dating days, I was on a train with my now husband. The inspector was checking our tickets while we were about to pull away from the station when my husband spotted a woman come running down the platform. He pointed this out to the inspector, who stuck his arm out the window and held the train until she got on. My husband was so casual about it, didn't think anything of it really, and it was a small action, but one that likely made her day better. I thought it said a lot about his character, that he'd help out a stranger who didn't even know it. I was right. He's still that kind of guy. Being weird together after only a couple of dates. It has taken me forever with most, but if I'm able to open up and be silly, then I know it's a really good sign, as I'm an introvert and incredibly shy around someone new, especially someone I see as a partner. They genuinely like being able to do things to help you out and vice versa. About 4 months into my relationship, I got injured. There was a chance that I wouldn't be able to walk again. My then girlfriend, now wife, said, "Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. We can figure this out either way." I'm okay now, but just knowing she was going to stay with me no matter what was huge. We've been together 8 years now. We have our challenges, but at the end of the day, we both know we're there for each other. Aw, that's sweet. Both people genuinely enjoy the conversation, being attentive to each other. No negative attitude either. Do you think a baby centaur would suck on the horse nipple or the human nipples? Why? Well, it's implied in Greek mythology that centaurs are male. They keep stealing human women. Given that idea, just an idea, mind you, no proven fact, their mates have to be human, so it's human nipples. That's too much logic. I don't like it. The centaur sucks with its human half, so it'd suck on the human nipples. The mother would lift it up as a human does. As a mom of 2 children, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it's whichever nipple is closest to the mouth while being snuggled. I can use my veterinary experience for this one. Foals are f***ing heavy. They can stand minutes later, then get horse teats because cradling a 100-pound animal growing several pounds a week is no bueno on the human part of the back. Probably both. Centaurs are a kinky bunch. Horse if the baby is on the ground, human if the baby can be cradled. I suppose them being interchangeable might be a desirable trait. What small thing brightens your day? I can't see my dad a lot anymore, but he makes sure to send me an updated picture of his garden almost every day. When my cats sleep next to me, they always make sure that they touch me with their toe beans. If I slightly move, they readjust until they touch me again. Love it. My husband makes it a habit to send at least one cute animal picture to me a day. It's been years and I don't think he's ever doubled up. If I've seen it before from some other source, I get another 2 or 3 to make up for seeing one already. It's often frog related. Today was 3 White's tree frogs being cute in a frog bowl. Yesterday was a bearded dragon getting excited over blueberries. My guinea pig Ollie. His cuteness and popcorning will always make me happy. Popcorning? What does that mean? Rediscovering the songs I used to listen to and either relive the memories or replace them. That's the tongue sound. And just like that, the video's over. Alright, my name's been Brandon once again, and I'll see you in another one.